Hi, everybody, and welcome to Shahrzad's webinar. This is called Stop Feeling Invisible and Be the Center of His Life. And Shahrzad's going to go into so many very personal, very unique, very special, very fresh tools and answer questions and coach you. And I am here to back her up because I'm like a, proud mother hen here, just kind of holding the space for Shahrzad to be amazing and to help you. So I want to introduce her and we'll just go for it. Oh, there are only a couple spaces left in the Stop Feeling Invisible class. So I put a little box in the chat section here so that you could follow the link, and I will mute myself and disappear for a minute just while I can keep watch over the evening to see, when we reach the limit. So go forth.
Hello, everyone. Y'all can hear me okay? I'm just using the mic. Perfect. Good. Thank you for telling me. I'm going to go to the presentation mode. And if I'm looking on different spot, is because I have my iPad running. So I want to make sure that I can see you and I can see the presentation screen at the same time. And here we go. Let's get started. All right. Okay. So, hello and welcome everybody to Stop Feeling Invisible and Being the Center of His Life webinar. Thank you so much, Rori, for your heartwarming and lovely introduction. And also thank you for all of you for being here on this call. I feel so honored to be here and share this time with you. If you're joining this webinar, I believe that one way or the other you have experienced feeling invisible. And if you've done the worksheet that I provided when you were registering to this webinar, I asked you, how do you feel invisible? What makes you feel invisible in your life? And I'm going to share with you what made me feel invisible in different stages of my life. So when I was during my single years, it felt like I was literally an invisible woman. Men didn't notice me. They wouldn't come to talk to me if I was in a supermarket, if I was in a coffee shop, if I was out with a girlfriend. I remember once we were sitting in a restaurant, and we had 3 men approaching our table, and all 3 of them were very interested in talking to my friend and not to me. And I literally felt like I wasn't there. And I couldn't understand why. When I was comparing myself to her, my face, my figure, I was going to the same school as her. I had the same background. I was trying so hard to be nice to all these guys, and I was trying to sound and show that I'm interested, but nothing. And I didn't understand why. I couldn't get it. And it felt really hard. All my attempts to capture their attention with my looks, with being sweet, with sounding smart, it was just never worked. It was always one failure after another. Now I'm going to share with you something that I never thought I would be sharing with anyone other than my close friends. But I think once you know how it was for me and how painful it was for me, you will know where I'm coming from, and you will believe that I really do get your pain. So there was this man who was very much in love with my friend, and while we were in the university, and for whatever reason, she wasn't interested in him. And this guy would always be talking to me, would call me every night and tell me how he would do anything to be with her, and how she means the world to him. And I couldn't get it because my friend treated him, like nothing, like he was a nobody. And the invisible girl inside of me thought, why her and why not me? Here I am, always available to talk to this guy. I'm here, so sweet and so supportive, and And my friend couldn't care less about him. Why her and why not me? And then months went by, and I was more determined than ever to make him fall in love with me. And ladies, let me tell you something. This guy had nothing that I actually liked. He didn't have the looks. He didn't have the manners. It was just nothing that I actually found attractive about him. Yet I was on a mission. I had to win. So I stood one step lower. I went one step even further down, and I made myself a friends with benefits with him, because then I thought he will fall in love with me. Then he's finally going to have everything that he wants. Then I will win his heart. And he made sure to remind me any chance he got that that's all that there is to it. That there is he never wants anything more than just being friends with benefits. So that I didn't believe. So I carried on for about a year being the way that way with him. And then when I finally admitted defeat and said, okay, I can't do this anymore, it's just hurting too much, I remember his exact words. And they were, fine, if that's what it takes for us to continue to be this way, then sure, we can be boyfriend, girlfriend, call it whatever you want. And I know you all probably feel really sad for me. And I remember so vividly when I heard those words, how much I wanted to throw up, how awful I felt. But then inside of me, that invisible girl had finally won. So, of course, I went along with the so-called relationship. And then the second phase of my feeling invisible started during long-term relationships. So now that I had one, I have this man that is finally agreeing to be my boyfriend. Now I had to make sure that he wouldn't leave me, that he would actually fall in love with me. So what did I do? I made sure to never say anything that would make him feel upset. When he wasn't paying any attention to me, I'd make sure to remind him that I still exist by calling and texting him constantly, giving him a ride to his workplace, picking him up, and giving him the most incredible gifts. I remember I was a student, and yet I used my student loan to buy him the laptop that he wanted because, that's to see what an awesome girlfriend I am. And of course, despite all of that, I never felt loved or remotely close to what I wanted to feel in a relationship. None of my needs were met. And not that I ever spoke up. I never said to him that what I wanted. And I stayed in that relationship for years, for almost 5 years, until I literally started to feel sick. It's just, I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't stand him. I hated him, and I hated myself even more. So when I ended that, I shortly after started another relationship. And this one started out very differently. This man at the beginning was coming on so strongly. He would actually take the bus every day for 2 hours to come and see me. And he was just treating me like a queen. And I thought that it was too good to be true. I felt that this is I don't know how this happened. So I better make sure that I don't mess it up. So I slipped back into my old ways. I went in my convincing mode that, make him to love me more and realize that I'm worth it and how much easier I can make his life by him being with me. So yeah, I went back to giving and giving and giving. And what happened was that the more I gave to him, the less he wanted to give to me, the less he did for me. And after 3 years, I was getting more and more insecure, seeing everything that was slipping away, and I was trying harder and getting less. And after 3 years, I couldn't even recognize him anymore. It was that I was sitting right across of him, and I literally thought that he can't see me. He was always late when we were supposed to meet. If we went on any dates, which was rarely after those years, He would never want to pay for anything anymore. And if I tiptoed around telling him what I wanted, he would get defensive, he would withdraw, and it would just get nowhere. I never had what I wanted in that relationship after a couple of years either. So that one ended in resentment and a heartbreak too. So when I went to the third relationship, and that one was more disastrous than the last two, I was done with my old ways. I knew that there was something that I am doing wrong. I am the common denominator in all these relationships. So I started doing research. I luckily found Rori Raye. I found her programs. I received private coaching, and I found out what was going on with me. And I had a massive case of nice girl syndrome. And this is how I would define nice girl syndrome. A woman who is always operating from a place of fear. She is always afraid of conflict. She's always afraid of rejection and fear of being abandoned. And so she's always making sure that everyone, and including her man, is always pleased with her. She can't risk having someone, especially her man, to be upset with her. So what does she do? She says yes when she wants to say no. She says yes to last minute dates. She says yes to driving him when she doesn't feel good about it. She says yes to having sex earlier than she's ready for. She says yes to being a girlfriend when she wants to be married. She doesn't want to cause any conflict. So when he openly flirts with other women, she keeps smiling and she keeps like there's nothing wrong. When he's being very openly offensive to her, puts her down in front of others, she just puts on a smile and acts like it's okay. It's okay if he cancels on her frequently. And she stands there and takes it if he calls her names and if he accuses her of things that aren't true. So she gives and gives. She gives her time, she gives her body, she gives gifts to him, and she basically wants to give him a reason to stay. And what is she left with is with unfulfillment, unhappy, a very, very sad state of a relationship. She never feels good enough for him. She always has to try harder in order to feel that she deserves the love that he's giving her or not giving her. If this sounds too familiar with you, for you, I mean, if having the nice girl syndrome is something that you have experienced, I want to ask you if it's ever worked out for you. If being from a place of fear and trying to avoid conflict and being quiet and saying yes to the things that you don't want, has it ever gotten you the relationship where you felt loved, seen, and cherished and heard? Well, if you ask me, my answer is no. And I repeated the same thing for 3 times for so many years, and I think it fit Albert Einstein's quote perfectly, that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that's what I used to do. I used to hide what I wanted and why I wanted to be adored and doted on. I just put on a show for men and I hid my feelings. I hid what I wanted. I acted cool and happy and had a smile on, and my mouth was shut. And so this is why we need to stop. Ladies, we have to stop doing what doesn't work. We have to stop sending out the message out there that what I want doesn't matter, because that's what we're doing right now. When we shove aside what we want, we feel bad, yet we pretend all is well. We are telling the world what I want doesn't matter. And that's exactly what he and the entire world will say back to us. Okay, sure, what you want doesn't matter, as you wish. That's what's going to happen. If up to now, the response that we've gotten from the universe was exactly in line with what we've been sending out, it's proof enough that once we start changing the message, we will get different response, right? So it's time to send a different message out there. And with that, I want to introduce you a new tool that I call the nice girl syndrome. And I also, because we need to understand this is a step-by-step, because it's so frightening if I tell you, from this moment on, you're going to say no to everything that you want, and you're going to be vulnerable and show everything that feels scary to you to a man. So we have to take it step by step and make it to our daily routines and adapt them so it starts to feel more natural to us. So with that, let's begin, and I want you to do this with me. So I want you to imagine that you have a mask that can hide whatever you want from the man or from the world, whatever you don't like about yourself and you don't want others to see it, whatever makes you feel vulnerable if you let them see it. Is it your fears? If you don't want to appear weak to him, is that what you want to hide from him? Is it your jealousy? You don't want him to think that you're insecure, that you're not cool? Is it your actual appearance? Do you feel not beautiful enough, or you always cover up your face with a lot of makeup because you think that your natural beauty isn't good enough for him? Or is it the other way around? You actually don't put on any makeup because you don't want to draw any attention to you. So that feels uncomfortable to you. So whatever it is, I want you to imagine that there's a mask covering it. And when you put it on, no one can see it. The parts that you don't want to see, they're all covered. This mask is also literally standing between the two of you as a barrier. It's not letting him to get close to you and see you and fall in love with you, because we always want to know what's behind the mask when someone has it on, right? We can't fall in love with what we can't see. So you're wearing your mask, and I want you to imagine your man standing right in front of you right now. If it helps you, close your eyes and just imagine him standing right in front of you. It can be a man that you're with, or it can be someone who you're interested in, and or your ideal man. Just imagine him standing right there, and you're wearing your mask and it's all covered. And I want you to notice that he's looking at you, but he's only seeing the parts that you want. Now I want you to put your hand on your face right now. Do it with me. And I want you to take the mask off. There is nothing covering right now. There's nothing covering you. What you always want to hide, it's all exposed. Notice how you're feeling. All that insecurity, the fear, the anger, if you have any anger in you, the parts of you that you don't love, they're all shown to him. And if you're feeling shaky and terrified, that's great. In fact, that's a perfect place to be in. Just feeling really, really scared. Now I want you to go inward. I want you to actually go into your body right now and find the place where this feeling is feeling the most tense. Is it in your jaw? Is it in your shoulders? Is it in your chest, your belly, your pelvis? Find it, track your body, and try to find it right now. And once you find it, I want you to stay with that feeling. I want you to go to the unwanted part of you that you don't want to see and deal with. And I want you to stay there. And I want you, if it's in your chest, if it's in your belly, go there and say, I love you. Repeat after me. Say to it, I love you. I can feel your pain. I can feel your insecurity. I can feel all the tension. And I'm sorry that I have been ashamed of you and I have avoided you all this time. I'm sorry that I've been trying to hide you. I'm here for you, and I'm never going to abandon you. And I want you to breathe into it. Wherever feels heavy, I want you to really breathe into it and see if it actually feels any lighter, if it softens. If it doesn't, that's okay too. That's totally okay. To see what happens to it. And I want you to now look at him. What is he doing? If he's actually looking at you with curiosity, with what's going on with you, that's exactly what's happening right now. He is paying attention to you because this moment, instead of trying to avoid something that feels so uncomfortable, something that feels so unnatural and heavy and bad, because that's what we want to do. As soon as something feels bad, we don't want to just hide it from him. We want to hide it from us too. We don't want to feel jealousy. We don't want to feel our anger. We try to push it away the minute it shows up. What we just did there is that we went inside and we stayed with it and we stopped fighting with it. So when we go to stay with that discomfort and we pour love all over it and we say, I love you, I'm here for you, I'm not going to fight with you anymore, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere, I'm not going to abandon you, you create peace and harmony within you. Inside, you feel harmonious and peaceful, and you're not shoving and pushing, and it's not shoving and pushing you back. It's not trying to get noticed by you anymore. It is already getting the attention that it needs. So right there and then, you have created harmony inside of you. And then guess what happens? When you are feeling peaceful and harmonious on the inside, him and including the entire world is going to reflect back to you what's going on the inside. You feel more peaceful and happier and content on the inside. And then you create attraction. He looks at you with curiosity. He looks at you with more warmth. It reflects back to you exactly what you're feeling inside. And ladies, this is the only way to truly be seen and loved by a man. It's by noticing when you have the urge to go into hiding, to fight and push away what's feeling uncomfortable, and you notice the urge, and instead of trying to control what's happening on the outside, trying to control what he's doing or what he's not doing, you go inside and you stay with that and you pour love all over it, and then you stop hiding your truth, you stop hiding your desire, you stop hiding your fears and doubts and insecurities, and you become aware of it. And you stop doing what you've done always, which hasn't worked so far, right? It hasn't worked out for you to shove and push it away and step and walk all over your feelings and let men do that to you. You start treating yourself differently. You cannot pick and choose what parts of you deserve to be loved and deserve to be shown. It's all of it. It's all of you that deserves that. And that's what has worked for me. And this is what's going to work for you. Because the way you treat you is showing the world how they're supposed to treat you. And what I want for you is exactly that, to treat yourself with unconditional love for every single part of you. The ones that are easy to love, sure, you can love them. And it's easy to love our pretty parts, but when it's those unloved and unseen, those are the invisible forces that you are not even aware of, and they're screaming for your attention. And because you're not paying any attention to them, they're running your life and they're pushing love away from you. So it's time to go inward, pour love all over them, pay attention to them, and start attracting the type of relationship and the kind of love that you truly deserve. And with that, I want to conclude the PowerPoint presentation and start talking about the Stop Feeling Invisible and Be the Center of His Life group coaching program in Rori Raye's Siren School, where we'll be talking about, doing exactly what I presented in the presentation, but of course in more details on how we can go back and really see all these parts of us that we don't want to see. I just noticed, hold on one second. All right, one second. Ladies, I am so sorry that Zoom seemed to not. Hold on one second, Rori.
I put my video on. I'm here.
Here we go. Hi, Rori. I see that my screen, yes, it was. Hello? Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I see that the screen wasn't shown, was it? And I couldn't see the chat box and I kept going.
I let you know we didn't see any slides.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry.
You did great without.
I could see it on my iPad and it kept going.
To be totally honest with you, I've seen a lot of slideshows. Watching you was way better.
Oh, thank you for that.
I think that everybody would agree. You're a pretty compelling person, my dear. and so I wrote to you saying, you know, yeah, you were awesome to watch.
Thank you.
So if you want to run through the slides at the end so it can be part of the replay, great. But
sure.
Maybe everybody could say whether or not they actually want to see them. They're fun. They're beautiful.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So I'm definitely going to provide them to everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of video if we're not seeing you? So I like the way this went.
Absolutely.
I can see all the thumbs up. Yes, they would rather watch it on the slide.
Sure. So let me, well, ladies, please unmute yourselves if you would like to talk. And we can also talk about the program, Rori, if you don't mind.
All right. I don't know if any of you, I mean, we're just starting Siren School live. It's a whole thing that basically has grown out of my coach training. And the spectacular coaches like Shahrzad, and there's only 2 of them so far, and Shahrzad is, you know, out there just kind of growing so quickly and creating such a stir out there and connecting with so many women, and the women who are my clients and who know me just gravitating to her. And so I saw that this was a need for all the women out there, for all of you to actually get private coaching. I mean, I'm $500 an hour, so I send you all to my coaches who are much more affordable. And even them, you know, one-on-one isn't always what works. Sometimes you like the feeling of a group. Sometimes you just need to spend less money. And so I'm trying to create all different ways for you guys to have that working. So Siren School is about promoting and creating and helping all of these coaches create these programs where you can get not just like somebody speaking like this webinar is and answering questions, but actual coaching where you are actually having almost a semi-private experience coaching. And I've been doing that now with Helena Hart with Siren School Gold, where we are actually working with a structure so that every week there's a specific tool, a specific theme, a very specific thing you're going to be working on, very much like the mask that Shahrzad just did with you, where you can actually experience this working, which is the way that my coaching works. This is the way I've trained everybody, and this is what we do. And it's just been utterly transformational, transformative, whatever the word is. The women who've been through Siren School Gold are just insane. And Shahrzad's own community has just been transforming right under her. So I want to give her a platform, essentially. So we're made it like 12 women. It's a platform. I think it's almost full already because everybody wants to be with Shahrzad. So you do 2 classes a week, meaning she's there for you, and she's totally prepared with a lesson plan. So it's not like what's going on with you and how was your day, although you are going to work on that. She's very specifically going to know where she's taking you for 4 weeks. And so it's extremely affordable. If you want it, use the link up there at the top of the chat. And if you have any questions, just email me or email Shahrzad, and she'll tell you what needs to happen. And if this is, what you want, we're going to move heaven and earth to find ways for you to get what you need. And that's essentially what this is. So basically, I think what we're going to do tonight there is feel you enough. And I did send out another blast just to remind everybody to come. Attending live is a whole different thing because everybody expects the replay to happen. But here you get your questions answered, you get a little bit of coaching, you get a feel from Shahrzad of, what her nature is, which you've already gotten from the lovely person. Right, so I'm just going to mute myself again and let anybody who wants to.
Oh, you're muted. Did you?
Oh, I want to mute myself. 1, 2, 3, mute.
Thank you, Rori. Thank you so much. And I really apologize for the glitch. But the Zoom is tricky. It asks you twice. And yeah, so if anybody has any question, please go ahead and unmute yourself, or I think it gives you the option to raise your hand, and we can I'd be happy to talk to you for anything that you want, whether it's just a question that you have about the program or any question that you have, then I'd be happy to answer you. Hello? I think someone unmuted themselves.
Hi Shahrzad, it's Lori.
Hi Lori, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I just have a comment. I wanted to thank you and Rory. I find doing video chats very scary. So this, I think in itself is a huge step for me.
Bravo.
It's not something that I feel very comfortable doing, but you got to start somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
Where it's safe. And so I want to encourage everyone else that's part of this to just show themselves and be okay with it, even if you're eating your dinner like I was earlier. But I just want to say thank you. I think the mask tool really sheds a lot of light. And
yeah,
so
that's wonderful. Well, good for you for showing up, showing your face. That is something that you want to hide, and you did that. So bravo to you. And I'm so happy. I've gotten to know Lori for a little bit now. She's in part of my other program too. So I'm really happy to have you in this one too. And Lori, can you say what is it that you find that makes you invisible? Do you feel okay to share that with other people?
Sure. It really comes from a history starting back in childhood where sharing what it is that I need, what it is that I would like to do, or what I want to be, or whatever it was pretty much ignored. And so as relationships happened throughout my life, over a certain period of time, it just kind of got to the point where I kind of felt like it doesn't really matter if I bring it up because it's not going to be heard. So
that must have felt hard. That's must have felt. But good for you for recognizing it now. Good for you to know exactly where it's coming from, and it's no longer hidden. When it's something is not hiding, when it's not, running us without us acknowledging it, then we have all the power. We take away its power, right? So bravo to you for taking actions. I'm really happy to have you on board, on the group, and here too. Thank you for your beautiful energy.
Thank you. I'm feeling very excited.
Me too. Thank you. And I think, Marie, did you raise your hand?
Hi, so first hi Rori. Hi Shahrzad. And then Rori, I just also wanted to say thank you for encouraging us to come. So I had put my little marker on because I wanted to eat and drink water and I didn't want to be seen, but I got inspired by you, so thank you for that. So Rori, so I had just finished emailing Rori that Rori changed my life. And I started working with Rori months ago, and I've met a lot of Rori's coaches, and they're all phenomenal. And I also just wanted to come on here tonight to just sing Shahrzad's praises too. Like I have, I don't know, I think Shahrzad and I'm starting to more and more have a feel for like energy, and I feel like we are very much kind of, I feel an affinity to her, and she comes from a place of abundance. And so the very first time I talked to her, I shared with her something that, like right now I desire more than anything in the world, but I didn't know whether I deserved to want it. I don't know whether I deserve to want to even try or even express verbally. And because Shahrzad comes from such a place of optimism and hope, and it just kind of inspired me to like own it and start expressing myself around that. And I think that will help kind of manifest it. And so I think so highly of Shahrzad, and I'm super excited. And I'm so excited that Rori, you helped introduce me to her, and so and I agree, Lori. It's kind of like, especially because I don't know how many people are listening, I feel a little embarrassed and nervous to talk. But
me too. Doesn't go away, guys. Know that the embarrassment and the weirdness doesn't go away. What happens is, and this is happening to you, Mari, is it's just all of a sudden one day you decide, well, I'm just going to see what it feels like to be this way in front of people instead of the way I think I'm supposed to be. And you just do that for 1 minute, and it feels like a bad day. It feels like a bad moment. It feels weird. You just feel strange. And then you kind of go, whoa, because most of the time something happens that shocks you. And I know that you've had that happen to you over and over and over and over and over again. And that's what it is. It doesn't mean you ever stop being shy. I don't think, Shahrzad, have you ever really stopped feeling? No. You just get used to it.
Yeah, you just used to being uncomfortable. You get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and you get rewarded after that. Thank you.
We need your mic. We need your mic on.
Okay. Let me do that again. Because there we go. Is that better?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So, Mari, thank you so much for your heartwarming words. It just means a lot to me. You have such a beautiful, and I agree. You and I work so beautifully together, and I'm just watching her blossom. This woman, every single time I talk to her, just has grown a bit more, and she is the definition to me of a feminine energy woman. She listens and she implements and she trusts, and she's just, she's unstoppable. So thank you for being here, and thank you for your really, really beautiful words. It just means the world to me.
And it's great to see you.
It is.
I always love seeing you, Rori.
You guys, I'm looking one on top of each other. You kind of look a little bit alike. Your face is shaped kind of similarly, and you have the long hair.
Thank you.
I don't think I'm the only one noticing that.
Yeah.
Whereas, Lori, you look like me.
That's so true.
I got a rounder face, but we got similar smiles.
And we've got our names rhyme, so there you go.
Yes. Rori, that's true. Mari and Shahrzad, not so much, but yes, I agree.
I mean, my orange shirt, actually, you're almost like dressed alike.
There you go. Perfect. Well,
it sounds like this is just a love fest. Is there anybody who wants to work on something or ask about something? We probably shouldn't go too long, or the replay will be unmanageable for you. But anything? I'll mute myself.
Yes, if anyone else would like to say something, has a question about the program or anything, I would love to hear it. And if not, then we can end the presentation. Again, I'm really sorry about the glitch. You just had to see my face and not the PowerPoint slides. But I am really glad and grateful that you all joined and you are here. And I'd love to. I'd love to see you on Stop Feeling Invisible. I see Melissa here, and she unmuted herself. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Shahrzad.
Hi, nice to see you here, darling, or hear you at least.
Yeah, I wanted to know, now that everything is going well for you, do
Thank
you
you.
ever feel, I mean, with your fiance, I know you're getting married, do you ever feel invisible in any way now? Does it happen to you? And what do you
Um,
do?
that is a really great question. And I have to make it a day-to-day practice, Melissa, for not to feel that way. I have to actually intentionally make it a practice for myself to when I want to stop myself from saying something that would make him upset in my perspective. Because remember, there's the story that we tell ourselves, and there's the story that the person tells themselves, and there's a story that we think that the other person is telling themselves. So there are so many voices there happening, and I have to get myself out of the way that I think that, oh my God, what is he gonna think, and what is he gonna take away from what I might say or not say, and just bring it back to myself of what I am feeling. And if I can only have one voice and say it in a way that I know we are practicing that in magnetic scripts, then it will be the only way that he will be able to truly see and feel and hear me. So yes, I do. If I don't do it, if I don't make that intention every single day, I will absolutely still feel that way. But I definitely do what I try to teach you all is by to first see it yourself. If you can't see it yourself, then he won't see you either. But if once you shed the light on it, once you bring that into light, then he has a chance of seeing that too.
Okay.
Is there
Thank
anything
you.
that you usually might feel invisible? Like, there are needs that you have
You know
that
what? Lately, everything's been going very well. I think I've finally got everything down, but I know that there are periods and there are seasons, and I know that things can change. But right now, things are going very well. So I just wanted to keep going
wonderful?
that way. But I know how relationships are, so I know that it could change. But you know what? I think I'm
And
ready to handle anything that comes my way.
fantastic. And Melissa, as long as you're doing your part, we're only responsible what we are doing in the relationship, right? We can't control the other person. As long as you're doing your part and you are growing and learning every single day, you're coming up front and you're vulnerable, and I know you, and I know that you read and you participate in my own group and all that. So you're doing amazing, and be proud of yourself for what you're doing, and everything else just unfolds as it's supposed to. So I'm really proud of you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Shahrzad.
You're welcome, my lovely. Oh, I see Vera and Nicole here. I'm happy to have you ladies here too. Sorry that if Nicole, you weren't able to join earlier, but if you have any question, darling, please go ahead and unmute yourself. And you too, Vera. Vera is actually in the Stop Feeling Invisible program. I'm really excited about that. She's lovely and has a beautiful energy. So if anyone else has any questions, please unmute yourself. If not, then we'll say goodbye.
Shahrzad,
Hello, who is this?
this is Xiang.
Hi, Shangi. Hi, nice to see you or hear you here.
Yes, I love your the demonstration you made earlier, and I don't really have question considering that I just have had a private coaching with you yesterday.
Yes, I know.
Yes, but I want to say something
Sure.
about experience with you. So I feel I'm very lucky that when I start this new journey to to get to know myself better. And I was able to find you in the very early time of my own private coaching.
Yeah.
I soon realized, or I feel that I want to keep coming back to you. Though I didn't realize what it was with you, but at that time. But now, the more time I spend with you for my private coaching, and in your tribe or in your magnetic spirit program, and I feel your energy is very pure, very warm, and very, and so I feel the frequency of our energy or the vibration is really, really close. So that's the reason that I keep coming back to you. And also, I remember very clearly, it's the beginning of this year, because at that time I'm very new, very green to the inner work, to this new journey. So I remember very clearly I asked you several questions, and at that time I didn't realize how important the answer you gave it to me. But more I do the work, and more I realize that, for example, you give me a really nice demonstration on what's the real leaning back, and also give me demonstration on, I remember it's always inner work comes first, and then relationship the next.
Yeah.
So I now, like, at that time, I'm like, oh my God, this sounds like new. I want to learn, but I don't know how to digest it. So later, more work, I work with you, and the more I realize that what important information you feed me, and I am able to see the amazing or very happy changes in myself, and I am very, very happy. And also I'm very grateful that you, sweet as you are, but you could also be really, really, I'm not saying tough, but very determined.
Yes, I am pushy.
You're very, very determined when it's needed. So I feel so thankful, because I am also, I think I have a similar growing up background as Marie, that I came from a communication dysfunctional family, and my voice pretty much is ignored, and I ended up think that even I said something, no one will care. I brought this dysfunctional way of communicating into my work and into my life. So it brought a lot of bad experience. And also my shy personality, I try to avoid conflict, or I dare not to speak up my own truth most of the time. But you, whenever I want to run away from speaking up my truth, or to have an in-person conversation, my old pattern is, no, I don't want to do it. I want to run. But people are there all the time that you give me, no, you're not running.
You're not running.
You're going to do that. So for that, I'm very thankful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So.
Thank you so much.
I don't really know Rori, but I heard your very harmonious, very beautiful, very loving interaction between you two. And so I would believe that you said due to the law of attraction, she must be as amazing as you are. So I'm really to meet you both today, and Yes, so you're really a great coach.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jiangi, so much. I'm my face is starting to hurt. I'm smiling so much. You ladies are just amazing, and you're making me feel really emotional in a very good way. Jiangi, you amaze me. I can't even put it into words, like how much you just have changed from the first time I've spoken to you. And you just go for what you want. And like Marie, when I tell you to do something, you just go ahead and do it, no matter how terrified you are, but you still go for it, and the world is yours. It's just, that's how it goes. The way, you just go for something that you truly want, the universe has no other way but to deliver. I'm so proud of you. And I've told you this 2018 is where I'm going to come and dance at your wedding. I have no doubt that it's going to happen for you. So thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. I'm so humbled and so very happy to be your coach.
Thank you. It makes me feel really touched. And I want to say to the ladies attending today's live call that if you are so eager to change, and if you cannot fear to do the old way that doesn't work, you cannot fear to repeat it over and over again. And if you want to see some positive change, and most importantly, if you want to feel happy and find harmony with yourself, and I think you're in the right hands with Shahrzad.
Oh, thank you, Jiangi. That is so touching. Thank you so much. Wow, I feel overwhelmed, Rory. I'm gonna unmute Rory here. I'm feeling all emotional here.
You deserve to feel that way. It's like you're changing lives, and this is your community. So I feel very honored to be here and to be a part of your life and see what happens.
Thank you so very much. Let me just, I think Jiangi is still unmuted. Jiangi, darling, can you mute yourself, because I can't find you? Oh, there you are. Perfect. All right, ladies. Well, I'm just filled with so much love and gratitude, and yeah, this is if this program is for you, if you feel inspired to join, Rory put the link at the beginning of the chat. Go for it, and I'd be so happy, very, very happy to have you in the program. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful 4 weeks. 2 classes are going to be on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. I did that on a Saturday because with the time zones and everything, I want everyone to have a chance to at least come to 1 class. And so on Wednesdays, it's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I think that's 3 p.m. Pacific time. And on Saturdays, it's going to be 10:30 Pacific time and 1:30 Eastern time. So hopefully one of them will work out for you so you can attend the class. And if you have any other questions and comments, please let me know. I see, no, I don't see any other questions.
I'm going to put the link up again. There you go.
Thank you, Rory.
All right. Would you like me to close out, or would you like to?
Please go ahead. Please do the honor.
All right. Just thank you all for being here. And once again, it's an honor for me to have you be here and trust us. And I can really feel how much you trust Shahrzad and help me also. And I trust you guys. And this has just been a community thing for me since 2003, and I've never felt happier about my life than I had ever imagined. So, love to you all. And after this, let's do another. You can do it yourself. Another Zoom with just the slides, so that we can replay that too. And
Sure.
I'm really glad we didn't do them. You were awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Were awesome in there. You didn't even know we were seeing you. It was really, talk about being invisible. She thought she was invisible.
Yeah.
And so she was just totally herself doing her thing, and she kept looking at us anyway. It was really all right. You were awesome. So bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. All right. I'm going to stop the recording.